नमस्कार। रसोई के रहस्य के फेस्टिवल्स ऑफ इंडिया में आपका एक बार फिर स्वागत है। गर्मी आने लगी है। अब गर्मी के वक्त में सबसे पहला त्योहार जो गर्मी को बुलाता है एंड ऑलमोस्ट उसका आगमन करने की इंतजार करता है, दैट इज महाशिवरात्रि। शिव जी की लिए जो ये त्योहार इसको सेलिब्रेट किया जाता है बहुत अलग अलग तरीके से, बट आई हैव वन गेस्ट टुडे हु इज गोइंग टू शेयर विथ मी हर perception, her understanding and her memory of Maha Shivratri. Let's go ahead and see how and what is it. My own memories of Shivratri are really very special because when I was growing up, मुझे याद है हमारे घर में मम्मी कहा करती थी कि तुम देखो कीड़े मकोड़े and all these bugs and bees and everything are going to come out as soon as Shivratri passes. It's very confusing to wonder why, but she always told us that Shivji opens up his little pitara and lets out all those creatures that have been hibernating through the winter. And of course also this whole fascination of a festival that is celebrated all night with people staying up, fasting and then staying up all night. And we used to hear these lovely sounds from the temple. Imagine for a youngster, for a young child, the thought of a temple playing movies all night was really fascinating. I'm not going to waste time with any more of my memories. Let me invite my guest. My guest today is Sree Karuna. She is many things. She is a storyteller par excellence. She is a sensitive human being who believes very firmly that happiness is of utmost importance in life, and to that effect, she is an NLP practitioner, someone who's done many things in life before she has come back to the root of everything, that is happiness. Hence her wonderful storytelling. Let me introduce you to Sree Karuna. Karuna, welcome to Rasoi ke Rahasya. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much, Payal. And yes, so with my happiness quotient today, especially on Shivratri day, and I won't even say Shivratri day, Shivratri night we are recording this. Khushi ki baat kya ho sakti hai? You contacted me and you asked me to pick out a day, and things kept happening. It had to happen tonight with all the blessings of Lord Shiva that it got postponed tonight.
So tell us. I know I've heard you narrate stories. I've heard you speak about, mythology and so much more. So tell us about Shivratri. Tell us about what you know about Shivratri as a festival. I'm really waiting eagerly to hear from you.
Okay, for me, Shivratri as a festival, I'll start when I was a little girl. I grew up in a small town. It was not even district headquarters. Of course, it's an educational hub in West Godavari district, which is between Vijayawada and Vizag. Other side of Godavari, this East Godavari, there is Rajahmundry. On West Godavari, it is Bhimavaram. And it is the agricultural lands, very green, with lush green rice fields and coconut palms and all that. Mm-hmm. So my maternal grandmother's place was just on the suburbs, just the fringe, urban fringe you call, from almost in 1 kilometer, the municipal limit would finish. And my paternal grandmother was 90 degree, and it was also a village.
Wow.
So for me, Shivratri meant fairs, Every Shivratri, there would be fairs in my grandmother's place, paternal grandmother's place, and from my maternal grandmother's, Ammamma we call, Amma ka Amma. That's Ammamma for us. I grew up with my Ammamma till I was in my 3rd grade, and I used to go for the fair to my father's village. And my paternal grandmother was very religious, who got up early in the morning around 365 days, and by 4:30 her lamps were lit in the Brahma Muhurtam time.
Wow.
So, and we had the temples there. So for me, although this merry-go-rounds and that candy floss and all these things in the fair and the balloons and things, although excited me, but at the same time holding my Nanamma. Nana means father in Telugu, and Nana ka it was like paternal grandmother is called Nanamma. Nanamma ke pallu pakad ke, mandir mein jana, okay? और सब लोगों को, टुकुर आंखों के साथ देखना.
Yes, I have a visual of the little Karuna holding her, the grandmom's pallu and running around after her.
And my maternal grandmother had great this one of that pavadai and all that that long skirt,
the lehenga
and
all that, yes.
And we call this orange flowers, kanakambram, and I used to always want a big garland of flowers with plates hanging from one plate to the other plate from behind my neck. Those were the days.
Truly. That's what this episode is all about, to go back to those beautiful times.
Yes, and though my grandmother fasted, but she used to fill my tummy nicely with whatever I wanted. And initially, I remember that the nights were more of these people with musical storytelling, that Harikatha we call. They used to come and narrate about Shiva's and Parvati's Kalyanam, how Sati Devi died, and Shiva was doing the Tandav, and afterwards Parvati did the penance for him, and then they married. The whole Purana used to come alive, and वो सुनते सुनते मैं अपनी दादी के गोद में सो जाती थी.
बस उतना ही है, खेलना कूदना हो गया.
थक के जब सब लोग ऐसे बैठ के सुन रहे, थोड़ा सुना, थोड़ा इधर उधर भागा, like with other kids running around the temple and all that, and फिर थक के गोदी में सर रख के सो जाता. Then जैसे ही वो कथा खत्म होता था, फिर then I used to came with sleepy eyes. I was a very plump and chubby child, so definitely a 7-year-old couldn't be carried home. So I used to again with sleepy eyes walk back after I was woken up. Yeah, these are the memories I hold and I cherish as a child. And this is only till my 3rd grade. My 4th, 5th, 6th standards, I moved to Bangalore. And after 6th standard, 7th to 12th standards were in Nasik, 18 kilometers from Nasik. My dad worked in Hindustan Aeronautics Limited.
Right.
And in Nasik, it was a township. And in a township, it was a multicultural. So we had Gujaratis, we had Punjabis, Bengalis, Malayalis, everybody. And there, our next door were Ayers, Tamilians. So that auntie also used to fast along with my mom, and and the kids, their daughters, they used to be called, her name was Sharma, I think, now she became Kirti Sharma and Shanti. We used to sit till 12 o'clock in the night, and they used to learn Carnatic music, and some bhajan used to go on, and those were the days. I used to tell my mom that I will fast, and I used to, but by 4 p.m., 5 p.m., I used to ask my mom. Evening then, mom used to say, ki, ab tare niklenge, ya, that crescent moon, चांद निकलेगा, उसको देखने के बाद तुम कुछ फल खा लेना, she used to say.
Okay, all right. Oh, so that's like how the Karwa Chauth and those kind of things also happen, no? They also do that after the moon itself, and the whole day goes in the anticipation of the moon.
Yeah, because I think it's there in Ramzan also, Eid also, like all religions have.
Yes, it depends.
Because Shiv ka Ratri bolte na, इसलिए mom used to say, जब चांद और तारे निकलेंगे तभी रात्रि होगा, तब एक बार फिर से दिया जला लेना भगवान के सामने और तब कुछ फल खा लेना, she used to say.
But why Shivratri? I mean, what is the mythology behind celebrating Shivratri? I'd like you to sort of enlighten us with some of that.
Okay, so they say that Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara, so Brahma is the creator and Vishnu is the protector or the one who sees, preserver, and Maheshwara is the destroyer.
Correct.
But Shiva has 2 forms. One is of the Maheshwara, who is at par with Brahma and Vishnu among 3. But again, they say Sadashiva is the one who unites with the Shakti, the mother goddess who created all these 3. He's a masculine energy, so he is someone who is like, there is no form. He's come from nothing and he's everything. So once it is said that like everything happens, Vishnu and Brahma, they started fighting. They started fighting that I am great, no, I am great. And we all know that Brahma has come from the Nabhi, from the abdomen of Vishnu in the lotus flower. So Vishnu says, you have come from me and you can't say you're greater than me and all that. And Brahma says, no, I create everybody. And when this was going on, and as happens when बोलते हैं ना हमारी बुद्धि जब काम नहीं करती, तो they're almost about to fight with each other. When they are about to fight with each other, they say that Shiva comes in between them both, and in the form of a big Atmalinga. It's a fire kind of big linga. I mean, like uska na adi de. I mean, you can't see the beginning of it, not the ending of it.
Yes.
Okay. So then they say that both of them wanted to check. So Brahma went up, he, in the form of a swan. He says, I'll go and check the ending of this. And Vishnu says, I will go and check the beginning of this. So Varaha ke roop mein, Varaha avatar we know of Vishnu. So he can take that form again. And Vishnu goes down, but he can't find the beginning of this link. And Brahma goes up, but he can't find the ending. But on the way, he finds a flower. That flower is called as Mogali Puvu, and I think in English it's called the snake flower. It has wonderful fragrance, that flower. And Kamadhenu is the celestial cow. Brahma sees them both and he says, come with me, I'll say I have seen the ending and you both watch for me. And they just nod and come along with Brahma. And Vishnu is very truthfully, he says, I have not been able to find the start of and Brahma says, I have seen the ending. And this flower says, yes. Kamadhenu, what it says is, with the head, it nods yes, but with the tail, they say that it has told the truth. Okay. So that is the reason. And then Shiva emerges and he is happy with Vishnu's righteousness. That's why Vishnu has so many number of temples where everyone prays. Whereas Brahma is deprived of prayers because he has, light. And this particular flower is also not used in God's worship anywhere. And similarly, cow, which we say is very sacred, गो माता बोलते हैं. काऊ को हम मतलब आगे से पूजा नहीं करते हैं. जब भी गाय की पूजा करते हैं तो पीछे पूजा करते हैं, क्योंकि पीछे का भाग जो है उसने सच बोला है. हाँ, और पीछे के भाग से ही हमको दूध, गाय का दूध जो है अभिषेक के लिए अच्छा माना जाता है. गाय का दूध, and when we light any lamp with the cow ghee, whenever even in the month of Kartik, everybody light the lamp with the cow ghee. मतलब they say that it has some medicinal properties to drive away all the pollution हो या जो अभी बोल रहे थे ना आप, ये छोटे-छोटे कृमि और कीटक whatever.
Right.
So there is a scientific reasoning for every culture and every tradition that we follow. And
this is amazing because I didn't know. This is completely news. I mean, we hear of the cow all the time and worshipping the cow, but this bit about worshipping the cow from behind is something that's absolutely wondrous and so new. I'm sure there are many like me over there.
Actually, whenever someone dies, on the 11th day, you let them free, the soul free from this world, and that day you give away a cow to, Brahmin, Gai ka daan, Godan bolte. That time when my grandfather, my dad's father had expired, and they were giving away the cow like that, and Gomata ki pradakshina karke, till I was grown up. This happened in 2012, but I didn't know this then. I was about to, hold my hands and आगे worship करने के लिए जा रही थी, तो somebody said नहीं आगे नहीं, पीछे पकड़ो, पीछे से मतलब हाथ जोड़ो and all. This is what. Okay.
Amazing. So then after this celebration has happened, I mean, this is the story behind it. But we are celebrating Shivratri for celebrating Shiva.
Yes, because this happened, this Lingodbhav, that is at night 12 o'clock, this Agni Ling or Atma Ling that emerged. Shiva emerged as in the form of Ling, even in the night, between 12 and 2. That's why they say we celebrate in the night. But there is another story that makes it more interesting why we celebrate it in the night. That is, all of us know about the churning of the ocean, for Amrit ke liye.
Correct.
तो जब ये वासुकी का पूरा विश आ गया था, शिव जी ने किया था उनका gala Neel ho gaya and Neelkant. He stopped it in this one in his neck, so that's why he's called Neelkant.
Correct.
But due to the effect of this particular poison, Shiva becomes unconscious. And when he becomes unconscious, all the gods, all the Indra, Devadidev, Varun, and all Agnidev and Vishnu, everybody, Narad se lekar sab chintit ho gaye the. Everybody was worried. And they all sat next to him and were calling out his name. Shiva, 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 Shiva करके. इसमें पूरी एक रात गुजर गई थी. वो आज की रात थी.
Okay.
And after then Shiva gets up the next, after this, the night is over, Shiva wakes up from his unconsciousness. That's why this night, is very important. And similarly, they also say because of this heat of this poison and all the things he takes, इसलिए बोलते हैं कि विष्णु जी को तुम कितना भी फूल आरती फूल से सजाना विष्णु के भगवान if you see Tirumala or Lord Venkateshwara or anywhere lots of flowers and all decked very nicely, but शिव जी के लिए थोड़ा सा दूध हो या शहद हो पानी हो नारियल का पानी हो या सिर्फ पानी हो. Abhishek. Shiva likes Abhishek a lot. Why? Because we have to cool him down. That is the reason everybody say that Shivling ke liye Abhishek is very, very, very important.
Yes.
Even with a little glass of water, you just do Abhishek for any kind of Shivling. It's not that there are 12 Jyotirlingas in our country, which are the outmost, whether it's Triambakeshwar in Nasik or Mahakaleshwar in Ujjain and Rameshwaram and all. There are 12, Kashi ka this one. But it's not those 12. Any temple, if you don't have a temple, if you have a Shivling at home, they also say if you have a small Shivling you purchased or brought home, Shivling needs Abhishek every single day. Then only you can keep a ling in the house. Otherwise, you have to just keep the photo of normal Shiva. अगर लिंग रूप में आप घर लेके आते हो तो रोज उसको अभिषेक तो करना ही चाहिए. This is what I was told. Yeah.
This is very, very interesting. This is exactly what I was waiting to hear from you.
Stories of Shiva.
Yes. Who better than you to tell me stories and tell my audience stories about Shiva Karuna? They can't be anybody else. So it's amazing. See how little things make such the background of the entire thing. And exactly like you said, there'll be a scientific significance to everything, to the fact that everyone stays up at night and the fact that, you offer water or whatever fluids, liquids, milk that you offer to the Shivling. It'll all have some deeper meaning and a deeper significance that is rooted in actual science.
Absolutely. Totally agree with that.
So, but when you're fasting on Shivratri, what is the procedure? Like you said that, in the morning, it's a Nirjal fast or whatever it is. So what happens to all our wonderful food?
All the wonderful food is for the kids and for those who don't fast. So, yeah, हम फास्ट करते हैं लेकिन भगवान को तो हम नैवेद्य चढ़ा सकते हैं. बिल्कुल.
So what are the kind of I know that most people, what I see, they talk of fruit, of certain kinds of fruit, and is it seasonal fruit or this is the time that I see a lot of the summer fruit start coming. Most amount of watermelon I see at this point in time.
Fruit, they say, is again the coconut is a must. Whenever you go to a Shiva temple, they say a coconut is absolutely a must. You have to break it outside and take it inside. Iska bhi ek, they say that it is symbolic. When you are breaking a coconut, you are indirectly breaking your own ahankar.
Right.
Arrogance ko break karke you are entering inside. That's what they say.
Right. So, that makes sense. No, makes sense. You're actually breaking yourself open and then offering yourself as an open person.
That's true. So the coconut is the utmost important fruit. Other than this, yes, you can offer bananas and other fruits also, but coconut is actually the most important. We call it a nut, so I can't call it a fruit, but yes. So
yeah, but it is ultimately also a fruit. I think it's the whole. I think one reason what I have studied also is the fact that coconut is a whole food in itself. You consume coconut, it takes care of almost every element that, of nutritive value that your body needs, whether it's water, whether it's, fat or protein or sugar, whatever your body needs. Apparently, I've read about it somewhere where they say that the coconut is a whole food.
Yes, absolutely.
That's perhaps also why it's important to offer coconut, because if you're fasting and things like that, as a prasad also, when you get back coconut, it's quite symbolic that way also, I presume, that you get it back because it is a complete food in itself.
Absolutely, yes.
So is there something special that gets cooked the next day or during the day if you're fasting and things, when you open the fast? So the next day now, I think I have interrupted you. The next day when the fast breaks, what happens?
The next day when the fast breaks, or some people they don't fast till the next day morning. They fast through the day and in the evening they eat something. So around that time, they say in almost all religions or all customs, you have to break fast with something very mild, they say. So that is when this coastal food it's called uppu pindi. Okay, uppu means salt, and pindi means actually it's a flour, but this is made of rice rava.
Okay.
It's not the general upma we do. It is made of rice rava, and it is the most simplest recipe that it has. So you just take some oil, and in that oil you just whatever the South Indian tadka is there, that is of rai, urad dal, chana dal, and some green chillies and kadi patta and red chillies. These you saute a little bit. And for some people, unlike North India, we don't believe that we should eat pyaz and lasan. So we can put some shredded onion also. So in this, we add little soaked. Suppose you're taking 1 glass of rice rava, 1/4 glass soaked मूंग दाल, जैसे मूंग दाल की खिचड़ी हम नॉर्थ में बनाते हैं, soaked मूंग दाल, that also you salt along with this onions and all. Then you add this 1 glass of rice rava, then you just add salt, and then you add half for 1 glass of rice rava you can add half coconut grated, available from the temple. You get the coconut. And come back, because जब हम एक नारियल लेके जाते हैं तो भगवान के लिए एक रखते हैं पुजारी जी और आधा हमें देते हैं. So
you have to be practical about it also. How much coconut can you keep in the house? या चटनी बन जाता है या कुछ बन जाता है.
So it is fresh out of the temple that coconut is used in this manner. So you add the coconut also, and you add 2 glasses of water, and then bring it to a boil. And this rice rava is cooked. You just cover the dish and the rice rava is cooked on धीमी आंच पे वो पक जाता है. और इसमें the combinations for this or the avakai, which is so common in Andhra, that is a spicy amka achar. Yeah, we have this podi, or we call it like mulaga podi, they call the Tamilians call, or the kandi podi, different kinds of podis that we have. Yes. With ghee. And rice rava and ghee, and coconut and moong dal. It is divine combination actually.
Yes, I can well imagine it. But strange, I've never heard of it. I've heard of so many different things, so many different kinds of foods. But see, something as simple and essential as this, and as basic as this.
Highly nutritious, fulfilling, the basic carbohydrates.
Absolutely.
You get rice rava, and that moong dal se thoda bahut protein mil jata hai. And when you're making this in ghee, fat mil jata hai. So you're getting everything, after fasting for the whole day. You're in fact getting a complete meal by itself.
And just one pot. It's just one pot. You don't need to do कुछ अलग-अलग कुछ करने का जरूरत नहीं.
कुछ करने का जरूरत नहीं. और हमेशा generally आंध्रा के लोग जो Saturday, because बहुत ज्यादा घरों में तिरुमला बालाजी को मानते हैं, तो सैटरडे बहुत लोग फास्ट रखते हैं, दिन में फास्ट रखते हैं, शाम को उपपिंडी बना के खाते हैं, बिकॉज इट्स आफ्टर फास्टिंग यू डोंट नीड एक्स्ट्रा एनर्जी टू मेक एन एलॉबरेट मील, simple and filling. And in combination to this also is a very interesting thing, like the rasam and all we have thing called as pachi pulusu. Pachi means kacha. कोई भी fruit, काय पच्ची का means pachi means जो कच्चा है. Pulusu means something which is sour, is called as something is, whichever we make with tamarind water, it's called pulusu. Pachi pulusu means kacha. This is not even put on the stove. You just take out the tamarind water, and in that you fry this kadi patta, lal mirch और थोड़ी सी मेथी के दाने और राई और जीरा is optional, and थोड़ा बहुत onion, one small onion finely chopped. इन सबको आप अच्छी तरह you just fry this and add it to the kacha imli ka pani with salt, and you smash it in your hand. You take this, let it cool down, you take this mixture in your hand and you smash it with your hand and mix it in the water. शायद हाथ से ही टेस्ट निकलता है पायल. मेरी नानी की मम्मी भी थी जब तक मेरी शादी हुई थी, even when my elder one was born, my great grandmother lived, my mother's grandmother. We were 5 generations all together. So when people of that era, these traditional things when they make, oh my God, it's so divine. अभी भी मुझे मतलब सोच के मुंह में पानी आ रहा है. That taste of it.
I've heard of pachi pulusu, but that's what it is, that's the whole thing. And ऊपर से क्या है, जब आप किसी चीज के लिए when you're making something, या पूजा के बाद या कोई व्रत के बाद, या you're making it something like that, the energy is very different. Hence what you get to eat, उसका flavor ही, it's not the same thing when you make it on any other ordinary day.
That's also very true. Same thing. एक आंध्रा में पुलिहारा बनता है. पुलिहारा is a tamarind rice.
It's my most favorite thing to
eat. And it is made for every festival. Every home, always they make pulihara.
Yeah.
It's like even for Ganesh Chaturthi, even for Varalakshmi Puja, for Diwali, for Ugadi, almost all the festivals is done. And it is one of the favorite naivedyams for any god, whether it is during Dashara, Ammavaru ke liye, matlab Devi ke liye, ya even in Shiva temples you go, or any temples you go, also you get packets.
You get prasad of pulihara, yes, you do. Yeah.
But the prasad, the pulihara that you cook at home and the pulihara that you get in temple are so different.
Totally.
The temple pulihara is just like you can't have enough of it, as like that.
Seriously, it's just I'm very, very clear. I mean, in fact, in another episode, we were having a discussion about Saraswati Puja, and that there also, that's exactly what we were talking about. That उस दिन का जो बना हुआ खिचड़ी, वो लोग खिचड़ी बनाते हैं, बोलते उस दिन का जो बना हुआ खिचड़ी का टेस्ट है, it's not possible to get that taste on any ordinary day.
Absolutely. Yes.
So it's absolutely divine. It's truly divine. I think that's exactly what it is. It is divine, not just in flavor, but in its entirety. I think it's divine.
And I have a detailed recipe of pulihara that I shared for my North Indian friends once upon a time. If we have time, I can just read it out, but I don't.
I don't attempt to make any of this. I just wait for people to make it and feed me. That's about it. I refuse to make all of this because I can do anything I want and it will not taste like what you would make in your home or any of my other Andhra friends would make in their home. So why even bother? I might as well go there and tell them ke khila do mere ko, and they'll feed me and I'll be satisfied.
I know. Some dishes are, meant to be had where they are supposed to be had. Suppose like if I'll have a Rajasthani friend, I would definitely ask them dal bati khilayenge kya?
Absolutely. I mean, जिसका काम उसी को साजे बोलते हैं ना, बस exactly. It's just that. So this is what you cook at the end of the fast. The uppupindi is what you make at the end of the fast.
If you're ending the fast in night, you can have it as a night meal, or if you're ending the fast next day morning, you can have it as a next day morning meal. But this is the Yeah, this is the most simple and most common meal that many of the people make, so that it's not spicy. It's very mild, and because your stomach has been in a rest, during the fasting.
Yes.
So
you can't dump little things in the water. So is there a special sort of a let's say puja or a ceremony that is done when you break the fast? You go back to the temple or whatever, offer a particular kind of puja. ऐसा कुछ होता है? When you open
पूजा से ज्यादा पूजा से ज्यादा they say that शिवरात्रि के अगले दिन सुबह कोई भी अगर तालाब हो तो तालाब, नदी हो तो नदी, समुंदर के पास हो तो सबसे बेस्ट समुंदर का स्नान करना चाहिए. वो स्नान करके घर आके एंड फिर दिया जला के फिर आप कुछ खा सकते हो.
So जिसके पास स्नान करने लायक कुछ नहीं हो तो jump in the shower.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So because now I'm staying in Visakhapatnam, Vizag. So today my maid has said, I'm gonna Maji, हम कल सुबह नहीं आएंगे, हम समुंदर पे जा रहे हैं स्नान करने के लिए. हम दोपहर को आएंगे. Okay. Yeah.
Because how many of us, we are also landlocked, so many of us. So I think that's the reason why, शिवलिंग को भी पानी डाला, मतलब वही है, वो शिवलिंग पे पानी डाल के स्नान हो गया.
भगवान का स्नान करने के बाद हमको भी मतलब and whenever this kind of पुष्कर होते हैं ना, like गोदावरी का पुष्कर या this one, सिर्फ 3 डुबकी लगाना चाहिए ताकि हमारे पाप धुल जाए. So 3 डुबकी लगाते हैं. I don't know the 3 number, but maybe that came from, because they say Shiva is the master of all the 3 worlds, or he's also known as the Trilochan. मतलब he has 3 eyes, or तीनों लोग. And 3 has some significant number. That's why they say 3 डुबकी तो बिल्कुल लगाना चाहिए. जब भी नदी में स्नान करने के लिए कभी भी any water body that you go and you get down to take a bath in the water body, you have to put your head under the water 3 times.
Right.
3 डुबकी. Yeah.
This has been really interesting. I've been waiting to hear all of this, and it's so satisfying to know so many of these little things.
And if we have time, there is a small folktale also regarding Shivratri.
Please do. Oh yes, please do.
So this folktale, they say that Shiva narrated to Parvati regarding Shivratri. There was a hunter and he used to hunt some of the other animal in the forest and used to take care of his family. One day he goes for hunting and he doesn't know which day of the month or what it is. He goes for hunting through the day. He's hungry, but he doesn't find any animal and it's already night. But he feels his family is waiting and his children are very hungry. So कुछ ना कुछ लेकर ही जाऊंगा करके he sits on a tree. And that tree happens to be the bilwa tree. And तो दूर कहीं कोई एनिमल आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है तो वो पत्तों में से उसको he can't see it, so एक पत्ता तोड़ के he's putting it down so that he has some vision. And then the deer comes and he was about to shoot the arrow and ये हिरन जो है वो बिल्कुल मनुष्य की तरह बोलने लगता है, मुझे मत मारो, मैं पेट से हूँ और मुझे जाने दो. अगर if you don't get any other animal then I'll come back to you. फिर he waits and इस तरह जाम बोलते हैं ना, रात के 4 जाम होते हैं, like the night 12, each 3 hours is divided into 1 jam, like that. So एक जाम निकल जाता है and फिर another deer comes and he was about to kill it, and again it says in human voice, please don't shoot me, I'm going in search of my husband. If you don't get any other animal I'll come back to you. Then एक और जाम निकल जाता है and again फिर से कुछ दूसरी ओर दिख नहीं रहा and he will again drop some leaves down and the third deer will come and it says, have you seen any female deer coming this way? Then he says, yes, 2 deer have come here and they have gone. And again, the third one is also talking in human voice and it says, I have to find them and I'll come back to you if you don't get another animal. And इस तरह तीसरा भी जाम निकल गया. Then it's almost early morning and still dark. And the last jam of the night. Okay, that period. And चौथा आता है. And this time it has a fawn next to it. एक छोटा सा हिरण का बच्चा. तो it says मैं इस बच्चे को घर छोड़ के आऊंगी. अगर तुम्हारे पास कोई और प्राणी नहीं आएगा तो मैं भी लौट के आऊंगी. And this guy is thinking how all these are talking in human voice and he lets that also go. फिर सवेरा हो जाता है और सवेरा होने के बाद all the 4 deer will come back to him. Now you can do whatever you want with us. And he is so astonished. और ये रात भर जो पत्ते तोड़ के नीचे डाल रहा है वहाँ एक शिवलिंग है. वो उसने देखा नहीं है पेड़ के नीचे. जिस पेड़ पे इसने चढ़ा था उसके नीचे एक शिवलिंग है. There is a ling and these leaves that he is putting on the shivling of bilwa leaves, तेलुगु में जो मारेडु दलम बोलते हैं. Then उसके आंखों से आंसू आता है इसको कि ये कितने सत्य है ये प्राणी. चारों के चारों लौट के आए. How truthful they are. and आंखों से जो पानी निकला ना वो शिवलिंग पे गिरते हैं like अभिषेक. तो पूरा परिवर्तन हो जाता है and he says I don't want to kill and he lets them go. And that whole night he didn't sleep. He was waiting for some of the other animal. तो उस दिन उसने कुछ खाया नहीं था रात को. and इसको एक और आदत भी थी. वो हमेशा शिवा 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 करके बोलता था. That is how he did his Jaggery. And इसलिए उसको पूरा परिवर्तन हो गया. और Shiv like as though blessed him to turn a new leaf, to change him. So change is eternal. That's what Shiva says. He destroys for giving a new life. He really killed the badness in this particular hunter. He lets all these animals go and he returns home and
and that's why the bel patta also is used to do the abhishek. Is part bel patta is also one of the stages of doing the abhishek, correct?
Yes. It's not a stage. They say अगर शिव की सन्निधि प्राप्त करना है, if you want Shiva's blessing, एक छोटे से मतलब even 100 ml की पानी से आप अभिषेक करो तो शिव खुश हो जाते हैं. एक पूरी श्रद्धा से पूरी भक्ति से एक बिल्व पत्र मतलब ये बेल पत्ता एक एक पत्ते भी आप शिवलिंग के पास रखो पूरी श्रद्धा से तो शिव आपको मिल जाएंगे. तो जैसे भोला शंकर मतलब बहुत छोटी छोटी चीजों से बहुत छोटी छोटी चीजों से खुश होने वाला कोई होता है उस आदमी को.
That's so beautiful, no? It's absolutely so beautiful because we look at all the big major mega offerings and here is a God who's willing to accept almost nothing.
He just wants your devotion. That other than that, he needs nothing. Yeah.
Material things don't mean anything to him. And usually, whenever you look at, that's the reason why. जब भी अगर notice करो शिवलिंग या कुछ जो भी होता है, even if it's in some place, you'll find grass around it. You'll find some green around it. You'll find it's never actually so much the central image, unless you of course go to a Jyotirling or something like that. It's never the central idea in a temple.
Yes, absolutely.
He's always a parikrama.
One more thing that amazes me, Payal, is the again scientific significance of this. Suppose we are praying to Shiva with leaves, bilwa ke leaves. This is a season when the winter is getting over and the spring is starting with new leaves and all that. So you're plucking away the old leaves. That means you're giving place to the new leaves to emerge. So this is also again season is changing right from here. जैसे आपने बोला था ना, actually नॉर्थ में बोलते होली से पर तेलुगु में बोलते हैं कि जो सर्दी है वो शिव शिवा बोल के भाग जाती है. मतलब चली पारिपोत मतलब भाग जाती है बोलते हैं. That's
where summer begins for us here. Summer begins.
Yes, because from tomorrow, from this Amavasya, new month is starting. So the new month is starting means it's the summer starting. Summer season is starting. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. This is really wonderful. Karuna, are you going to give us the recipe of the Uppupindi?
Okay, Uppupindi. So
you have another recipe for me?
I have Pulihara recipe. That is the Andhra traditional food. But if you want, I can give Uppupindi also.
No,
I think I already...
wonderful. Why not? Why not the Pulihara? Since we spoke about Uppupindi and we were talking about the fast, and Pulihara is, I know, something that is part of an offering in almost every puja, in every ceremony. So we definitely, why not? We'd love to know about the Pulihara as well.
Okay. So Pulihara is the Chitran of Karnataka, or Puliodre or Pulisadam of Tamil Nadu, and there are slight variations of. Now let us proceed to the recipe. So rice is 400 gram or 2 glasses of rice, and we have to make a prior tamarind paste. And you can make it, if it is not a religious this one, you can make it in advance and store it for almost 6 months also in the fridge. 6 months,
please make some and bring to me next time when you come to Hyderabad and store it in my fridge.
Definitely. So for the tamarind paste, you need tamarind seedless, that is 200 grams or 2 fists full. Green chilies 8 to 10. If they are light green chilies, then you can add up to 12 as they are less pungent. And jaggery or good, if you want a slight sweet taste that you find in the temples, scraped 2 tablespoons full. So for the tempering, we need groundnuts 100 gram, cashew nuts 50 or 100 gram based on how much you like. Chana dal 2 tablespoons, urad dal 2 tablespoons, rye mustard 1 tablespoon, jeera optional 1 teaspoon. Red chilies 8 red chilies cut into pieces. Kadi patta curry leaves a handful. Haldi turmeric powder 1 teaspoon. Hing as noted as 1 teaspoon. Oil is a small katori. Oil generously dalta hai. So step 1 is soak tamarind in hot water for half an hour. Just pour water till it is immersed, not too much water. Step 2, extract thick tamarind paste by adding little water and removing the unnecessary stuff like the rinds and all. In step 3, take a saucepan, put 2 tablespoons of oil once it is hot, add slit green chilies and this tamarind paste, add a scraped jaggery, add 2 spoons of salt and cook it on slow fire till the oil is separated. Keep stirring in between so that lumps are not formed and it does not get burnt. So as I said, this paste can be prepared and kept previous night or 1 week in advance or, even for 6 months. Once the tamarind paste is ready, but when you're keeping it for 6 months, we can exclude the green chilies part. No?
Right.
Yeah. So once the tamarind paste is ready, rest of the procedure is damn easy. Step 4, steam rice in pressure cooker, preferably rice cooker as the rice does not stick to each other. You get that al dente. So the only failure of this recipe is if the rice is sticking to each other, it doesn't taste good. Rest all is very easy. So spread it on a large plate and allow it to cool. Step 5, take the oil in a fry pan. Once it is hot, first add the groundnuts because they take time to get brown. As they take more time, then cashew nuts and then chana dal and urad dal, then rest of the ingredients. Red chilies and curry leaves can be added last. Once the urad dal gets slightly brown, you know that the tempering is ready. Switch off the flame and after 2 minutes add turmeric powder and hing and mix thoroughly. Spread this mixture on the rice, add the tamarind paste and first try to mix it with spoon. Once the tempering is cold, mix with hands thoroughly. The dish is ready.
Yum!
Yes, and it's so colorful. It is tasty, and to look at it, so colorful. The yellow color of the rice, the brown color of the groundnuts, a little more deep red of the red chilies, the green curry leaves. Oh my God, it's so
true. It looks also festive. It looks also so festive and nice. Yum! It's one of my most favorite ways of eating rice. Pulihara is something that I can, eat any time and any quantities. It's just so absolutely tasty. So you're going to give us 2 recipes for our description box. One will be the Pulihara and the other, I would definitely want the Uppupindi recipe for my listeners as well as myself because it's something that is completely new.
Simple to make. Yeah, it's new and it's very simple and wholesome dish.
It's simple is okay, but we need to know quantities and all. No, I mean, if you tell me simple like this, I'll never remember anything.
I will use it writing definitely. I'll send it.
I'll add it to the description. That way, it's always there for anybody who's listening to the episode and wants to go back and check the recipe.
Definitely, sure.
Wonderful. So this has been one of the most beautiful Shivratris that I have spent in, story time and, creating stories and creating an episode for so many of my listeners. Karuna, thank you so much for taking this time with me so late in the night.
No, actually I should thank you.
It had to happen like this and it had to happen now.
Yes.
So I'll be looking forward to many more stories. There are going to be many more occasions where I'm going to definitely have you share stories for my listeners. And for today's Shivratri celebrations, I think our listeners have had a wonderful time listening to your stories, the folk tales as well as the mythology. And of course, we've happily eaten Pulihara as well as the bindi in the middle of the whole thing. Thanks again, Karuna. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Yes. So actually, from long since I wanted to start podcasting, but I've just been putting off. So this is the first time I've been on a podcast, and what a way to start. Shivji ki, there is also a saying in Telugu. Shivudi agna lekapothe cheevaina kuttadu. Means like, अगर शिवजी का आज्ञा नहीं होता तो चींटी भी नहीं काटती. Even an ant will not bite without Shiva's approval or command. So like that.
Certainly. I think our listeners are also sharing the blessings of Shivratri with us, and we will connect with you definitely over another session of storytelling. Karuna.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Payal.
रसोई के रहस्य का ये एपिसोड बस यहाँ तक ही. हमने बहुत ही दिलचस्प बातें सुनी शिवरात्रि के बारे में, and I think the stories of mythology and folk tales alike bring alive this festival for us, and of course after the fasting the wonderful food. तो अगले एपिसोड तक आपसे विदा लेते हुए नमस्कार.